International Silver Company presents The Silver Theater, starring Ida Lupino and Conrad Nagel in Challenge for Three. Brought to you in behalf of two of the greatest names in silverware, International Sterling, world-famous solid silver, and 1847 Rogers Brothers, America's finest silver plate.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Conrad Nagel, welcoming you to the 13th of the new series of Silver Theater dramatic productions. Among the many great stars you'll hear in future weeks are Leslie Howard, Rita Johnson, Myrna Loy, James Stewart, and Andrea Leeds. Today, we're proud to present lovely Ida Lupino in the Red Book magazine story Challenge for Three by David Garth, adapted for our Silver Theater by True Boardman. Now, as for me, I'm going to do something I've wanted to do ever since I was first named director of Silver Theater. It's my privilege to appear opposite Miss Lupino in today's play. John Conde, will you raise the curtain for us?
Of course, Conrad. And now the lights are being dimmed and the silver curtain is rising on the first act of Challenge for Three, starring Ida Lupino as Elaine Carsden and Conrad Nagel as Jack Pemberton, with William Farnham as Nathaniel Carsden. A huge transatlantic liner has just docked at her pier in New York's Hudson River. And now down the gangplank of first, second, and third class, there comes a throng of passengers, some of them foreigners, eager for their first steps on the soil of a new land, others American citizens, travel-weary and more than glad to be in their own homeland again. But one and all, they're part of that gaiety and confusion that make a liner's arrival a truly exciting event.
All passengers find their baggage, please. Stay with it till it has been checked by customs inspectors. What's the name, miss?
Carsden. Yes, I know, thank you. My things will be in C Division. I've been through all this once or twice before. In fact,
Hello, Elaine.
Jack! Don't tell me you're chairman of the official Let's Go Down and Greet Elaine when she arrives committee.
Chairman and all the members. I headed the reporters and everyone else off by spreading word you'd missed the boat when it left Cherbourg.
Considerate of you. But where's Two Gun? He's all right, isn't he?
Say, that grandfather of yours will be all right when we're old and gray. But he preferred to welcome his far-roving granddaughter at home.
Well, and what about you? Aren't you going to kiss me?
Aren't I what?
Going to kiss me. Or isn't that being done this year by a dignified college professor?
Well, I seem to remember an old line about this is so sudden, but far be it from me to use it. Lady, you may consider yourself about to be kissed and welcomed.
I'm considering. I would say I had been kissed, and rather well, too, Mr. Pemberton. Maybe I've been wrong about you.
It's just a possibility.
Pardon me, miss, but are you Miss Carsden?
Yes.
The customs officer is waiting to inspect your baggage.
Oh, yes, that boring business. Come on, Jack.
All right.
Well, Inspector, are you satisfied? You've practically torn my luggage to shreds. You're not very gentle matron to search me personally, and still...
And still we haven't found it, I know.
Well, found what? Why was it necessary to subject Miss Carsden to all this inconvenience, Inspector?
Why? Because Miss Carsden bought the Yuan Jade medallion at the DeLacy Galleries in Paris, that's why.
I, Inspector? Are you sure?
Perfectly, miss. And I'm also sure that you haven't mentioned it here on your declaration.
You couldn't be mistaken about the whole matter, Inspector.
Well, I could be, but I don't think I am, Miss Carsden. I wasn't mistaken last year when you tried to bring in that black opal. As I remember, you paid quite a fine for that oversight of yours.
Oh, did I? I don't recall.
Well, the next time you're caught, it won't be a matter of a fine, even if your grandfather is Nathaniel Carsden.
Are you through now, Inspector? May I take my bag?
Yes, you may, but remember this. It's bad business to fool with the Customs Department.
Well, that's just a matter of opinion, Inspector. Shall we go, Jack?
All right. The car's right out here, Elaine. See, what was that inspector trying to...
Miss Carsden.
Yes?
Very clever. My compliments.
Who are you?
I'm Charles Norroy. We were fellow passengers, don't you remember?
Elaine, is this man a friend of yours?
No.
It's not a bad idea, Miss Carsden. We could be of use to each other. I've never seen a smoother job.
What are you talking about? Wait a minute, Elaine. I'll call an officer.
No, never mind, Jack. Let's just go on.
All right, Miss Carsden. Well, you'll be hearing from me. You can count on that.
Yes, but Elaine, I still can't understand.
Don't do it.
Well, don't do what?
Ask any questions. I mean about all that back at the pier. Because I'd either lie to you or tell you the truth. And in either case, you wouldn't approve.
Yeah, but that man, Nora, he...
Jack. Jack, if I'd asked you to, would you have socked him in the jaw?
What?
No. No, of course you wouldn't. You'd have been content to call a policeman or something and say, "Officer, this man is annoying this lady." Oh, if you were only to sock him in the jaw first and then ask questions afterwards type. But you're just not. Of course, I suppose one can't expect too much of a college professor with 5 degrees after his name. Or is it 6? Let's see now. A.B., M.A., LL.D., Ph.D., D.T.
Never mind my degrees. And as for my not socking your friend in the jaw, of course, I understand your disappointment. It would have made another headline just to sort of round off the trip. Copper Heiress tries to swim to Europe. Copper Heiress snubs dictator. Copper Heiress kisses ambassador. And now Copper Heiress's arrival home starts riot. Yes, it would have sort of completed the cycle.
Does it matter to you, Jack Pemberton, that I despise you?
It encourages me.
What would that mean?
Just that you're getting closer to being in love with me. Elementary psychology. Your first step, girl despises man. Next step, girl hates man. Next step, girl loves man.
Loves you? Well, isn't that wonderful? For your information, Professor Jack Pemberton, if and when I ever do fall in love with a man, no, it won't be with someone who calls cops to help a damsel in distress. The man Elaine Carsden marries is going to be a knight in shining armor.
Funny, I always thought they went out with a horse. Somewhat before, in fact. Well, seriously, Elaine, I want to...
Seriously, I'm very anxious to see Two Gun. Do you mind getting me to him?
A pleasure, Miss Carsden, a pleasure.
Oh, Miss Elaine. Welcome home.
Hello, Gerald. Where's my grandfather?
In his room, Miss.
Two Gun! Hey!
Oh, no, Miss Elaine, please.
All right, Gerald, if I know Mr. Carsden. You see?
Two Gun!
Oh, but Miss Elaine, you don't understand.
Two Gun, you old... Well, what are you doing in bed? What's the matter with you?
A bunch of crazy doctors. That's all that's the matter with me. Come here. Kiss me.
Oh, Two Gun. Darling, are you sure you're all right?
Well, of course I'm all right. Tell us so, Jack.
Oh, I've done that already.
How was the trip?
Oh,
Don't
it was-
answer. You haven't made a move since you left that everybody in America hasn't read about in the papers. Young woman, the name of Carsden is supposed to stand for something in this man's country. You're doing your best to make it a laughingstock. Copper Heiress, scrubs, dictator, humbug.
The word was snubs, Two Gun, and he had it coming to him. Besides, a girl has to do something for excitement, doesn't she? From what you tell me, grandmother was no shrinking violet. When she was my age, she'd shot 3 Indians, one of them a chief.
When she was your age, she was married, had 4 children.
Uh-oh, now you've got me. Well, let's drop the subject. Jack was
No,
just
we
telling
won't drop
me...
the subject. I'm tired of these escapades of yours. Yes, and I know one way to end them. Beginning today, your allowance stops, and it doesn't start again till you prove that you can behave yourself.
Oh, Two Gun, that's a blow. Well, I guess we'll just have to start living off the swag.
Swag? What's she talking about, Jack? Have you any idea?
You got me.
The proceeds of our adventures in crime, Two Gun. You see, there was a certain jade medallion in Paris, and I bought it. But I didn't feel like paying duty on it. That is, not until I got ready. So with the help of my buddy... Well, between us, we pulled rather a fast one on Uncle Sam's customs offices.
Elaine, are you trying to say that the inspector was right, that you did smuggle in that medallion?
It was only half right, Professor. I brought it over on the boat. But it was you who smuggled it through customs.
Jack.
You're crazy.
Am I? Try looking in your left-hand pocket.
Well, Hey!
You see, Two Gun, the medallion. That just shows you how wrong you can be about people. Professor Jack Pemberton, pillar of the law and of education. To think that you should stoop so low.
Yes, now I understand the sudden demonstration of affection. Jack, aren't you going to kiss me?
It was as easy as that, Two Gun. While Jack was kissing me, I just deposited the medallion safely in his pocket
Never mind
and...
the details. What in tarnation do you mean by breaking the law?
Oh, it's just a gag, Two Gun. I don't care about the money. You've got too much anyway. But it's such a thrill to try to get something past those eagle-eyed inspectors. Especially when they know you have it.
Well, it's a thrill you'll do without. I won't have a Carsden turning criminal.
Criminal nothing. I always pay the duty afterwards and the fine, too. But trying to get something through is such a swell gamble. Why should you have a monopoly on all the gambling blood in the family? Say, have you forgotten the time you bet half the Carsden mine on a pair of 7s? Where would you be now if you'd lost?
Better off. My granddaughter wouldn't be rich enough to make a continual fool of herself. In fact...
Two Gun.
Is something wrong, Mr. Carsden?
Yes, there's something wrong, and I'm going to fix it.
Well, darling, can I...
You can stay out of this. Jack, when you stopped practicing law to start that history teaching business, that didn't stop you from being a lawyer, did it?
No, sir.
Good. Elaine, Get out of here.
But Two-Gun...
Don't two-gun me. Do as you're told.
Yes, but... Yes, sir.
Now, Jack, don't just stand there. Get on the phone, get notary publics, get witnesses, get everything you need to make this legal.
Well, what are you going to do, sir?
You? I'm going to teach this harebrained granddaughter of mine what it means to be a Carsden. Money. Yeah, that's what's wrong with her. She's never known what it meant to be without it. Well, I'll fix that, and right now.
Yes, but Mr. Carsden, if it's only a matter of cutting her allowance...
Allowance? Cutting that allowance is just the start of it. I'm going to change my will.
Before we bring you the second act of Challenge for Three, may I say just a few words about this Christmas Day to which we've all looked forward so eagerly. The day itself is more than half gone, I know. But the happiness and serenity it brought you, the personal joy and delight which you experienced as you opened each gay Christmas package, these, I hope, will remain with you for days to come. We know that Christmas for many of you was made specially thrilling by the gift of beautiful silverware. And whether you received the gleaming loveliness of America's finest silver plate, 1847 Rogers Brothers, or the enduring beauty of solid silver by International Sterling, you can be proud of that gift of silver all your days. For 1847 Rogers Brothers is silver plate created by a distinguished house of more than 90 years' supremacy in silver plate design and craftsmanship. International Sterling Silver is solid silver through and through. Silver of imperishable beauty, created by master craftsmen whose predecessors wrought spoons of solid silver over a century ago. If we of the Silver Theater have had any part, however small, in making it possible for you to have this lasting silver loveliness, we are indeed proud. For fine silverware is truly the gift of gifts for Christmas. Whether you choose solid silver by International Sterling or silver plate by 1847 Rogers Brothers. Several weeks have passed. Jack has gone back to his history teaching at Breton College. Old Nathaniel Carsden has apparently nearly recovered from his illness, while Elaine has gone about the business of being Elaine Carsden, a somewhat more difficult task since Two-Gun has made good his threat to cut off her allowance. But his granddaughter has found other ways to keep going at her usual pace, ways that are known, she believes, only to herself. But as a matter of fact, in an expensive apartment in the upper 70s.
What's behind it all, I don't know. But I've had some of the boys watching her from the day that boat landed, Joe. And Elaine Carsden has been slowly selling everything she owns. Fur coats, bracelets, rings, even her car the other day.
You know, it don't add up. A grandfather with $20 million and she sells her stuff. Why?
There's no concern of ours. The one thing we do care about is that yesterday she unloaded the Yuan medallion. Look.
You got it.
From the dealer she sold it to. Little guy down on 6th Avenue. Didn't know what he bought. It cost me a third what the girl paid for it in Paris.
Swell, I knew you'd get it, Noroi. Well, that means the whole business is washed up.
Is it, Joe? I wonder.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Ever hear of the Allardyce necklace?
Well, who hasn't? It's in England. And so hot any customs inspector would spot it 7 miles out.
Well, maybe not. Not if the right person tried to bring it in.
Huh? Say, what is all this?
Do you know who pulled the smoothest smuggling job I've ever seen? An amateur named Elaine Carsden with this little piece of jade. Well, why couldn't she pull just as smooth a job with the Allardyce necklace? That is, if she had the right incentive.
Oh. And all we got to do is to ask her, and she'll go running over to London and bring it back for us, huh? You're crazy.
Am I? We'll see. Elaine Carsden left 3 hours ago for Brenton, Connecticut. That's where this fellow Pemberton teaches in college.
Pemberton? Oh, he's the one who helped her pull the medallion job.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she's gone up there to see him, but she's due back in town tonight. Have one of our boys on hand to meet her at the station when she arrives.
Yeah? And then what?
Then? Just bring it to me. Unless I'm wrong about a number of things, from then on, it should be easy.
Pardon me if I seem too insistent, but if it's true that you are Professor Pemberton's secretary, will you please tell him that I want to see him?
He's busy, teaching a class. Can't be disturbed.
My dear young woman,
I said Professor Pemberton's busy, and he doesn't want to see you even if he ain't. Isn't.
Oh, he don't, doesn't he? And who said so, may I ask?
I do, Miss Elaine Carsden.
And who are you? And how do you know who I am? I think I've had enough of this. Professor Pemberton's classroom is in there, isn't it?
You keep out of there.
If I were you, I wouldn't try to stop
Hey,
me.
hey now, you... Quiet.
Now, this is to be remembered, class. The one individual who has exerted the greatest influence on modern history, both here and abroad, is undoubtedly Elaine. I didn't see you come in. That is, class is dismissed.
Jack, I'm awfully sorry to disturb your class, but I've been waiting there in your office for 2 hours.
I told her, Jack. Professor, I told her you were busy.
Look, Connie, if I'm ever not busy, it's when Miss Carsden wants to see me. Please remember that.
Oh. Okay. I mean, very well, sir.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Is she your secretary or your watchdog?
You mean you don't recognize her?
Recognize her?
Yeah, about a year ago, a girl named Elaine Carsden went on a slumming party to night court. There was a burlesque dancer on trial, couldn't pay her fine. A copper heiress to the rescue. And then with that unfailing sense of humor of yours, you sent the girl up here to me to get her away from some racketeers who were after something equally melodramatic.
You mean that this girl...
Exactly. The Sherry Duval that was has become the Constance Dawson that is. From burlesque queen to secretary in 6 not-so-easy lessons. Not so easy for me, that is.
Jack, I can't believe it. It was all just a gag. I never dreamed you'd let the girl stay up here.
No, neither did I. That was her idea. A very determined young woman, Miss Constance Dawson.
And that explains everything, why she didn't want to let me see you. Jack, this is wonderful. The girl's in love with you.
Oh, nonsense. She's merely grateful because I helped her find a job. Oh, but never mind her. It's great to see you, Elaine. How's Two Gun?
Worlds better. In fact, I'm here as his official representative. What's all this about your being appointed to some international commission or other?
That's right. Yeah, I leave for Paris in 6 weeks.
Oh, that's pretty important for you, isn't it?
Well, just about the most important thing that ever happened to me. It's the first step to a diplomatic job.
I'm awfully glad for you, Jack. So's Two Gun. In fact, he wants to stage a celebration dinner for you at the townhouse Saturday night. How about it? Do you think Connie will let you come?
Gee, I'd like to see her stop me. Oh, it isn't a costume party by any chance, is it?
Oh, no, of course not.
Oh, too bad. I was thinking of getting myself a suit of shining armor.
Oh.
Look, Elaine, this new job makes rather a difference about things.
Don't say any more, Jack.
I'm still not quite the type, that it?
Well, maybe that's it, or maybe we've known each other too long. Or maybe I'm just plain crazy. Probably some of all three.
I see. Well, no chance of a lady changing her mind inside of 6 weeks.
I'm afraid not. Goodbye, Jack.
Elaine? Well, I always thought a girl kissed a man just after she said she did love him, not after she said she didn't.
Funny, so did I. Well, I've got to run now. I just have time to make my train. We'll expect you Saturday night. Goodbye, Jack. Oh, and my love to Connie.
Goodbye, Elaine.
Well, Professor, now that Miss Millions is gone, maybe you can start.
Yes. Speaking. New York City? No, put them on. Hello. Oh, hello, Gerald. No, she just left. What? Good Lord. I'll try to catch her at the station here. Yes, in any case, I'll be right down myself within 2 hours. Goodbye.
Hey, Jack, where you going?
But, Elaine, I've got to catch her.
But, Jack, you got more classes. 3 of them.
You take them, Connie.
Hello. I guess you're Mabel.
Well, you'd better try another guess, because I'm not Mabel.
Huh? Oh, excuse me, miss. You see, I was supposed to meet a girl who was coming in on this train. I guess she missed it or something.
That's very interesting. I'm so sorry for both of you, but I must...
Wait a minute. Wait, don't get me wrong. Say, I wasn't trying to be fresh or anything. You see, this Mabel...
I'm really terribly interested in Mabel, but it happens I have an appointment and
sure. Here, let me call you a taxi.
No, don't bother.
Hey, you over there, taxi.
Well, thank you. And I do hope you find Mabel.
Oh, I'll find her, all right. Driver, take this lady wherever she wants to go. She's a sort of friend of mine.
I get it. Sure. Hop in, lady.
Take me to the Waldorf, will you?
Waldorf? Right.
Driver, you misunderstood me. I don't want to go uptown. I said the Waldorf.
Sorry, lady. My mistake.
Driver, Driver, you're still going in the wrong direction.
Oh, you must be wrong, lady.
Let me out of this cab or I'll...
You'll do nothing, but sit where you are, Miss Carsden.
Oh. So it's like that.
Yeah.
Guns and everything. I get the general idea. Ever hear of the kidnapping laws, mister?
I ain't worrying.
Well, where are you taking me? Or isn't the victim supposed to ask that question?
You'll find out, and soon enough.
Oh, Miss Carsden. Come in. We were expecting you. That'll do, Al.
Right, Chief.
Won't you sit down? Oh, pardon me. My associate, Mr. Turgott, Miss Elaine Carsden.
Howdy, miss.
Would you care for a drink?
Well, this is the most formal kidnapping I was ever invited to.
Oh, but it isn't a kidnapping.
Perhaps I'm wrong.
You are. Don't you remember me?
No, why should I?
We were fellow passengers coming back from Europe last month. If you recall, I spoke to you just as you came through the customs barrier.
Oh, I see. Well, would you mind coming to the point of all this?
I'll say we wouldn't. You're going to start working for us.
Joe, please,
Huh?
leave this to me.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Carsden, it so happens that we have proof that you smuggled the Yuan medallion into this country. I myself and two of my friends can testify that we saw you do it.
Interesting. But as I recall, the customs officers have some strange ideas about that medallion, too. And somehow they couldn't find it. As a matter of fact, it isn't even in this country.
No? Then what would you call this?
Well, I was wrong. Someone else must have brought it in. You yourself, perhaps, Mr...
No, Roy. Yeah, but I didn't.
I'll say you didn't. You sold that medallion yesterday to a dealer on 6th Avenue. We got a record of the sale.
And?
And we thought perhaps you might like this medallion back, Miss Carsden, and you're welcome to it. On one very small condition.
Well?
You are, as I said before, the smoothest operator I've ever seen. Now, it so happens there's a certain necklace in England that Mr. Turgott and I would like to get into the States without its being discovered by customs.
The answer is no.
Oh, but I haven't explained
You've explained enough. I won't do it. I brought in the medallion, yes. That was to see if I could. It was fun for me. But I'm not going into the business.
No? Well, maybe we got other ideas. What's to stop us from turning that medallion over to customs and telling them how it got into this country?
Go ahead.
As I remember, you were fined for a similar offense once before, Miss Carsden. This would probably mean a jail sentence.
I don't care. Go ahead. Tell them. Tell them anything you want to. But I'm still not smuggling any necklaces from England.
All right. Oh, it's apt to be a little rough on him, that's all.
On who? What are you talking...
That friend of yours, Jack Pemberton.
Now, wait a minute. Jack didn't have anything to do with this.
No. My witnesses and I think differently.
Yeah. And we can only testify to what we saw.
Listen, Mr. Norrie. You can't involve Jack Pemberton in this. He's been...
I know. He was just appointed to some government commission. And a smuggling charge might make a difference.
All right. How much?
How much?
Of course, you're not serious about my smuggling that necklace. You want money. How much?
Oh, you're wrong. I'm perfectly serious about the necklace job. But on the other hand, we don't want to be unreasonable. If your conscience is bothering you, we could probably forget the whole thing for just what our profit would be if you worked with us. Say, $50,000.
I haven't got that much.
No, but that grandfather of yours has.
But I can't ask him for it. You don't understand.
It's one thing or the other, Miss Carsden. That's just the way it is.
And if I do get the money from my grandfather, how do I know that that's the end of this?
You'll have the medallion, Miss Carsden. That will automatically end it. Well?
How long will you give me?
Suppose we say 24 hours.
I'll get it. Two-Gun won't let me down.
What's that?
Miss Carsden was just saying that she'll get the money, Joe. And somehow I have an idea she will.
Oh, Miss Elaine.
Gerald, I have to see my grandfather right away.
Miss Elaine, don't you know?
No, what?
We've been trying to find you every place. Mr. Pemberton just...
Elaine, where have you been?
Jack, it's Two-Gun.
Yes. Gerald phoned just after you left up there. It's his heart again.
Well, he's all right, isn't he?
No, Elaine, this time he's not all right. I talked with Dr. Parsons, and apparently all that's kept your grandfather alive this long was his determination to see you.
Oh, Jack, but I have to ask him for...
Yes?
Nothing that matters. Can I go right into him?
Of course.
Two-Gun. Jack, he's...
No, wait. Mr. Carsden?
Eh? Oh. Elaine. Got here, did you? About time.
Oh, Two-Gun. Darling, I didn't
Quit
know.
crying. No nonsense. When it's time, it's time. Guess I know that. Got something to tell you. Then I'm ready.
Don't talk, Two-Gun. You need your strength.
Shut up. And listen. My will, Elaine. I changed it. Jack, tell her.
Now, sir?
Now.
But, Two-Gun, I don't care about your will.
Shut up. Go on, Jack.
Well, your grandfather changed his will, Elaine, the day you came back from Europe. You're still principal heir to the Carsden estates, but you're not to receive them for 10 years. In the meantime, you'll have to live on an income of $100 a month. If you try to borrow ahead, you'll lose everything. I'm to administer the estate and see that the provisions of the will are carried out.
Well, what do you think of it?
It's up to you, Two-Gun.
Want you to know why. Crazy for men to leave things in the will and not tell why. Jack.
Yes, sir?
Get out of here.
All right, Two-Gun. And good night.
Good night, nothing. So long.
So long, sir.
Elaine,
Yes, Two-Gun.
10 years ought to do it. Make a real Carsden out of you. My fault. I loved you too much. Should have licked you. That's what this is. Kind of a licking. Get it?
Yes, I get it.
Pretty good name, Carsden, youngster. Want you to learn that. Think you can?
I know I can.
That's all. Better go on now.
But, Two-Gun,
Asleep. And alone. That's the way I want it. Go on.
all right. Good night, darling.
Good night. Elaine,
Yes, Two-Gun.
I'm betting on you. Remember that? I'm betting on you.
I'll remember.
Elaine.
Oh, Jack. Jack, it can't be this way. I should be in there with him.
No, this is the way he wants it, Elaine.
I'm betting on you. Remember that?
Oh, Two-Gun.
I'm betting on you.
Two-Gun. Jack, he's... Jack.
Be with us again next Sunday for the thrilling conclusion of Challenge for Three, when Ida Lupino as Elaine Carsden and Conrad Nagel as Jack Pemberton are forced to choose between the penalties of federal law and the vengeance of organized crime. There will be more original music scored and conducted by Felix Mills. And now, the sponsors of Silver Theater, our director, Conrad Nagel, the whole cast, and I hope sincerely that this has been a grand Christmas day for each and every one of you. That the packages under your Christmas tree brought you exactly what you wanted, and that the few remaining hours will be full of real Christmas joy and happiness. And remember, if you were given 1847 Rogers Brothers silver plate this Christmas, you were given America's finest silver plate. If you received international sterling silver, you received world-famous solid silver, both proudly created by International Silver Company. All the characters and events in today's drama were purely fictional. Ida Lupino has just completed an important Columbia picture, which will be announced soon. John Conte speaking. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.